everyone, what's up? It's Fiona. Today we're making a halter top. I've been seeing these all over Instagram and Pinterest, and I'm totally here for the trend. Super 70s inspired, super groovy. With Jean, or with Jean, I don't know how to pronounce it. They do one that was my main inspiration for this project, and that vibe is really what I'm going for this coming up spring and summer. So I'm using about 2 meters of this fabric that I thrifted about 6 months ago. It's super cool. I used it for a previous project and it just ended up that I had the perfect amount for this, so we love that. Super eco-friendly. So this did take a couple attempts because I have a bigger chest size, but I was able to figure it out. So it gave a little more coverage and a bit more support, and I think that this will work for a lot of cup sizes, and so for my bigger chested girls out there, I got you with this one. Also, if you're liking any of my videos and you like DIY sewing content, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And I think that's everything for me, so let's get into the video. Alright guys, so welcome to the voiceover. As you see here, you're going to be seeing some very interesting drawings for me today. I found a new app that can show you all my pattern pieces, and so I can explain them better. So for your measurements, you're going to start by measuring from the armpit seam of whatever top you're wearing over the largest part of your boob and to the center of your chest where my arrows are pointing. And then you're also going to be measuring from your under boob over top, again the widest part, and up to your shoulder seam. So here I'm marking that chest measurement, so where you went from your armpit seam across, and then I'm marking the middle of that so I can draw a straight line or just kind of get a straight measurement up and mark a point at the height that I want for my cup piece. And then here I'm doing 1 inch on either side of that mark, and then these are all the dots you're going to need. And then I used a cardboard box. Don't judge me, I had no big ruler and I'm just making do with what I have. So I use this to get a straight line from that bottom point to the top point on that side, and repeat it on the other side. And then I just connected the dots on the bottom and the top to kind of create this triangle piece.
De la part de tous vos amis du CET, merci et bienvenue.
So after that, we're going to start with the a long rectangular piece. This is going to be 2 times your waist measurement, or you can do more. It'll just be a bit longer in the back, more for you to tie with. I think I did about 7 or 8 inches high. I just folded my fabric over and cut it out, so then I don't have to sew around the entire rectangle. Then I cut out all 4 triangle pieces. I did 2 of my lining and 2 of my regular fabric. So we're going to end up with 4 of the triangle pieces, and then we're going to have our long folded over rectangle. Now you're going to start by taking 1 lining piece and 1 of your good fabric and placing them right sides together, and just sewing along the diagonal edge on either side. You want to leave out the top bit and the bottom piece because we're going to be flipping this around. Now here's me just flipping the triangles around, and there are 2 pattern pieces. So I just decided to iron both of the pieces. This just makes your sewing projects a lot neater. So this is the pattern piece, and I'm going to be gathering the bottom part. So you're going to be gathering 2 lines parallel to each other. You can use your presser foot as a guide with this, so you're going to put your stitch length at the highest amount that you can, and you're going to be just going in a straight stitch close to your edge, and then use your presser foot as a guide and do one parallel right above that. This is just so our gathers don't fall flat. I found this to be the best way to make sure that doesn't happen. And then you take your 2 top strings, as you see here, and you just pull on them and your fabric should start to gather. And gather this to a point where you feel like it's going to give you enough coverage. I just kind of tested it on myself and I found what was the perfect size for me. So this was where I tried to gather only the center part of these bust pieces. It did not work out, and I also did not space the 2 front pieces like I do later on in the video, but I just wanted to show you where I went wrong here. But what I did is I wedged them in between the fabric and I sewed up just the top part of the triangle and I flipped it inside out. This is a really good way to have a nice clean edge. I'm going to show you 2 different ways on how you can do this, but this is just one way that you can do it if you make sure that you add that inch of separation in between your 2 kind of triangle front pieces, and you gather it correctly. So this is totally fine. If you do it this way, you just have to make sure that you take your rough end pieces, fold them in like I'm showing here. I ironed them down to make sure they stayed flat, and then when you do your top stitching on this, you just go all the way around the rectangle, up that side seam at the back, and then across your front piece, and it'll look really nice, clean, and finished. So this is my fun little diagram of that first option where you wedge the 2 triangle pieces in the middle, but your second option is you have your rectangle here, and instead of wedging the pieces in between, you first right sides together sew up where my arrows are, and you leave a gap at the top where your boob cups can go. The white arrow is where the fold is there. So this is me starting over. I had to unpick everything. I marked the center of the long rectangle piece so everything was nice and even, and then I marked ½ an inch off that center side so there would be exactly an inch in between my 2 cup pieces. Now I pinned both of my cut pieces on with that inch in between, making sure that everything was caught at the back as well so you don't leave any of the fabric out. Now I'd recommend, if you're doing it this way, you do your top stitching at this part, you go along that back edge and you go all the way along over the 2 cut pieces and the other side. It's not necessary, it'll just make everything look nice and finished. And then here, so you want to make sure when you're sewing down your cut pieces that you sew in between the 2 gather lines. So one of them will be hidden and then one of them will show like this, and all you do is unpick that line. This just ensures that your gathers don't fall flat and they stay. So now we're on to the part where we're making our straps to go at the top of our piece. So what I did here with a piece of scrap fabric is I cut out 4 strips about 2 inches wide, and I just put them right sides together and I sewed along either side.
trying to get all of you all night. We haven't talked in months, but that's alright. Was wondering if you wanted to go for a drive. I just need some fresh air and an old friend. I'm so glad that we started talking again. Yo, turn up the radio, I love this song. Remember when we used to stay up all night long? How's it been going?
Now after you sewed those down, I just took a safety pin, pinned it on one side, and then you lead that one side through to the other part of the strap, and then you just pull it through like this, and then you have your nice finished strap. Super fun, super cool. And then I just took my ironed that nice and flat. And so this is the top part of that triangle or cut piece. So I pushed the top part in and ironed it down so it stayed flat and in place.
Midnight drives. Do you need to rant or just stay silent? Either or, you know I'm compliant. Take a left up ahead, we're going towards the horizon. Don't stop going till we see the sun rising. You know this is who we are, this is what we do. Driving in circles till we find something new. The only person I enjoy sitting in the car with is you. If it's fine by you, I'll take the passenger seat. We can drive around till the sky.
So I then took my strap and I pushed it inside that piece and pinned it down. And then all you do is sew a straight line across there, and you'll have your strap nice and finished and attached to your cut pieces.
I'll be next to you. If it's fine by you, I'll be beside you. Speeding down the highway with the wind blowing through everything around us.
And then for finishing the end of the strap, you repeat that same process where you push in the edges, iron them down, and then stitch a straight stitch right across at the top there to secure everything in place.